Ah, okay. Okay, let's walk.
You
So,
got it.
who do we have today?
Today, you have Caitlin Rogers with you, and you are.
My name is Kazuya,
That's
but
important.
I am, yeah. Well, where are we today?
Uh, we are celebrating Easter
Oh,
at the Huntington Gardens
where?
Library.
Uh-huh. What is Hamilton Garden is? Is this where is this located? Could you explain a little bit where we are?
Yeah, no problem. It's in lovely Pasadena,
Mm-hmm.
where there's over 80 acres of phenomenal gardens and art galleries and a library
Mm.
if you like books.
Mm.
This has been around for a long time. The Huntingtons used to live here, and then they donated this after they passed away
Mm.
for the public. And now we've learned today many things about the Huntington Gardens, including that they spent over $70 million in the area that we're in right now, which is basically China. And we've also seen the Japanese gardens. And I think the Greek gardens,
Mm-hmm.
European mostly.
Wow.
And that's it so far, but there's many other gardens inside this enclosure. Yeah, over 80 acres. It's a magical place.
So,
Am I supposed to be
Obviously.
also asking you questions? Because I can.
no, it's about I want to know about you. Nobody want to know about me. So.
I do. What's
Well-
been your favorite garden so far?
Well, we walked Japanese garden, obviously, and Chinese garden. I actually enjoy here a lot, actually, Chinese garden, because it's more flat than Japanese garden. But Japanese garden was very great because I could at least talk to some people. That's the person who was working there explain me how they imported all the material from Japan to make the garden and the cost behind. As I have some visions in the future that I want to do, it was inspiring. But generally, I forgot the feeling of being
Would you even say hopeful?
hopeful. Hopeful? Hopeful, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're circling back to the name of your
I was like,
series.
yeah, exactly.
Full circle.
Well, so could you explain me? So your name is. So could you explain me your name and age again? What about whatever you can share about yourself, your childhood, family background, what your passion is? Could you explain me a little bit of a story about yourself?
That's a loaded question.
Well,
yeah.
you can build a story.
Well, again, my name is Caitlin.
Yeah.
I come from the Midwest, so a lovely city in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 40. It's been an exciting year. It's a milestone for me. I've been in Los Angeles for the last 15 years. So it's been an adventure of moving away from home and coming to the big city and following my passions. So one of my passions happens to be working on costuming, and this is the city for it.
What kind of? So you work with fabric.
Yes, I work with fabric. So I consider myself an engineer, even though it is a highly creative field. I get film renderings, usually of superheroes, men in tights, basically, and I have to create that character from a cartoon rendering. And most of the films have been very successful lately. There have been a lot of Marvel and DC films. When Superman goes in that film booth, he doesn't come out naked. He usually wears what I make. So that's always how I explain people how I do my job.
Wow. So you said you're from Indiana. Could you explain me a little bit of your childhood? How it looked like growing up with your family, siblings? However you come up with in your head right now?
Yeah. I grew up in the Midwest, so that looks very much like hard work, lots of family members. I had a sibling, I had one sibling that I'm extremely close to now because of my two nephews. I named my company after one of them. His name is Max,
Wow.
and I named my company Max Effort Effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a great childhood. It was filled with lots of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had the privilege of working for my father, who owned a construction company.
Mm.
So my background is mostly engineering to begin with.
Mm.
And then I also got an opportunity when I was very young, around 14, to move in with my grandfather, who was an engineer at the steel mills, and he also helped influence my engineering background. And I was very close to him. He was my pep bap. And so I had a lot of love. I had a lot of creativity. I had a lot of freedom to embrace who I was. I was very, very lucky. And that kind of made me the person I am today. I also had this urge ever since I was a kid to see the world and everything that's different. And would make me strive to be a better person. And so I ended up going to college and studying abroad, which only cultivated it more. And I've traveled as much as I can, as often as I can. And this is a small glimpse of what it's like to travel. So I love this place.
Yeah, I can see this is, this everywhere has such a nice smells around with trees and different kind of plants. It's been like one of my favorite. I told her, but it's been my favorite day of this year so far with this environment. So inspiring. Well, so you are close to your family, and you studied outside of your. How did you came up? Wow, beautiful. Look the ant. Oh wow, it's pretty big flower actually.
It's a very large flower.
Yeah, it's maybe hard to see on the camera, but
It's about the
it
size
is.
of my face.
Yeah. Well, how did you connect it with you? So you went to study university, right? Where the creative thing, what you do, came from?
Weirdly enough, I will never be able to answer that question because I wanted to do this since I was 8, and I had never seen anyone sew anything, and I really don't understand where it's got to be in my DNA somewhere. Maybe because my dad did build houses and interiors that I maybe connected the dots as it being a similar profession. I do know some of my grandparents were seamstresses, but I didn't get to meet them. I think they might have passed that beautiful idea to me at some point through genetics. And once I decided at 8, you couldn't tell me to do anything else. And at 12, my aunt, who I didn't get to know very well until I was 12, she could sew, so she helped me create my Halloween costume. And I learned how patterns work and sewing and fabric stores. And then at 12, I started sewing, and my father was very nice, and he gifted me a sewing machine. So I couldn't stop from that moment on from creating things out of fabric and materials and envisioning a world where I could work in theater or, I guess, sort of film, but I never imagined film until I moved to LA, which is where most costumes are made here in America, for if you wanted to do it as a profession.
So, like you said, you didn't think about doing costume until move here. But when you moved to LA, you wanted to have some sort of, dream come true. Did you thought about working in a fashion more towards, or how did it came
I think
to?
I imagine fashion and costuming, so theater. And so I got a costume construction degree. I also got a fashion design degree.
In
And-
university.
At the university, yes. So I had that idea way, like when I was really young. I was probably maybe 17 when I decided to go to school for all of that.
Mm.
And not until I got to LA, though, did I know that there was a world of film and TV that also is a profession I could get involved with.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
So, how was so since when you were in the industry, and what have been the road for so far?
It's been amazing. I started off very difficult. I graduated college with a ton of debt. I did not have financial help as much as other people, so I had to take out loans.
Mm.
But it was well worth it. I would never regret any of that. And as soon as I graduated, I decided I didn't have a lot of options because of financially. College costs a lot of money here in the U.S.
Mm.
And so I lived in Chicago, which was near my hometown, and I made vintage wedding gowns.
Mm.
And that was the closest to fashion and costume that could ever be combined.
Mm.
And that was my excuse to try to thrive in creating things.
Mm.
And then that wasn't financially viable still because college was, again, so much debt.
Right.
So I flew to LA hoping that I could continue my career in any way possible. And I had very little funds. I think I had $500 in my bank account. And somehow I kept talking to people and I came across an amazing opportunity. I was just very lucky to get hired for movies. And I sold myself as much as I could because I had years of sewing experience and engineering experience and building. And I got my first gig was Spider-Man. So that ended up projecting me into a very financially stable environment in which I could continuously make costumes. And I've been lucky ever since.
Do you still remember for the first time when you worked on the movie set? Do you still remember about creativity and generally being in this kind of industry, how you felt? What was the impression after this first job?
It was a surreal experience. I would have been satisfied with doing pants hems for Law and Order, but I got the remarkable ability to be able to do something very creative and unique and work with materials that are extremely rare. And the people that I get to work with are a variety of different professions that make it very interesting. So engineers, 3D modelers, sculptors, painters, fabricators, people from all over for different types of genres of trade I got exposed to. So that was quite a amazing learning experience that I wouldn't have gotten if I was just doing pants hems. I was very grateful to be in such a creative field. And I also couldn't believe like some of the moments that I'd have where I just decided that maybe picking something so unpredictable and creative would give you experiences that are kind of one of a kind. For instance, one of my favorite stories is that I went to Conan O'Brien because Ryan Reynolds was performing as Deadpool. It was a PR move to promote the film, and he needed assistance putting the costume on. And my first experience of being on a set like Conan O'Brien, I was taken into a tiny room where there was a massage table and a bunch of sex toys, questioning where and how I got there, and very nervous. And the next person to walk into the room is Conan O'Brien in a towel. And I'm like, how did my life end up here? And does anybody actually know who I am and why I'm supposed to be here, which is just to be here for the costume dressing. And about 10 minutes later, my brain finally synced up to the situation at hand. Was the actual bit between Conan and Deadpool was that Deadpool was massaging Conan O'Brien on a massage table, and they escalated it with humor, with all the sex toys and panda tears and all kinds of stuff. But no one put me in on the joke. So until I watched the camera shoot, I was a little bit lost. And then when they were acting, I finally clicked, this is the bit. And I can't believe I get to be here at this moment in time that my life has taken me to this point where I'm very confused, but very happy to be there.
That's so funny.
And the film industry is full of moments like that. And I'm very privileged to have not a dull moment. Every day is new and interesting and full of problem solving. And I feel like I'm very lucky in this life.
Wow. How was it's a funny story.
It is a really funny story. You should have been there because it was even funnier when you were trying to question where exactly
Right.
landed you this particular moment in life.
And it's so you had a little bit go back to first experience actor. So you had a first entered to this, let's say, Hollywood scene. What was actor like? Was it immediately becoming so busy? Like how the life carried on?
In terms of how my life felt,
Yeah, after first shoot on first
First movie?
movie you did.
yeah,
And was it like something continuous after, or
it was
was it-
continuous. The blessing and the curse of working in the film industry is when you first start, you are very, very underpaid because you are new to the industry, and therefore, to get projects done, you have to do a lot of overtime. So, I was very young. I was only 26 when I moved here, and I could put in 150 hours a week and not even question that. So I was grateful to have the career that I had, and it was all-consuming because I didn't know anyone in LA, and I bonded really well with my coworkers, and it was almost like together we were building something so wonderful and unique together as a team that it really was self-fulfilling. And then that was my life for many, many years until I burned out, which is just, you'd spend too many hours at work and you need something else to spiritually feel good. So I one day came into work and decided to quit. And my favorite moment was when I decided that, because I had put so many hours in to be so skilled at this one thing that I then needed to fill my soul with something else. And that was can I curse? Is that cool? Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay. I decided to fuck off to Japan.
Yeah.
And I took all the money that I had earned, and I had paid off my school, and I had no stressors and no responsibilities. I had no partner, and I went over to Japan, and I got as lost as I possibly could for 2 months. And it was filled with amazing memories, and I changed as a person there, and I forever will be grateful that I quit and tried that, and then came back, and then went right back to my job, and was very, very spiritually satisfied.
When did it happen, actually, after your starting career? So your first movie, how old were you when your first movie was?
I was 26.
26. And when this keep working non-stop, when you burned out?
I think it was either 27 or 28. It was just endless amounts of overtime, and so I couldn't do it anymore. It's a lot of sitting and sewing for days and months, years, and so it just needed to happen because I needed to take a break. I needed to see the sun. I needed to expand my brain. I needed to put myself in a very uncomfortable situation, like going to a foreign country where I don't feel like I belong, and I needed
Right.
to push myself to the limits of what I am unfamiliar with.
Mm.
And Japan gratefully gave me that beautiful gift.
Mm.
I usually have this philosophy that I call Plan B, and it's I like to educate myself prior to entering an experience
Mm.
of an aim or goal, but I'm always looking for Plan B to steer me in a different direction.
That sounds
So
like
I
advice.
always feel like I'm purposefully traveling,
Right.
but with also accepting that there are moments and paths that cross me that are meant to happen.
Right. So
Staying open, as they say.
yeah, sure. I agree. I live that way as well. So you a little bit open up the conversation, and I want to go dive into it about sounded like this was a topics of your career, but it's also sounded like there's a cost to it, what you were doing. How was let's go from this. How was your lifestyle since you started 26 until you became so you kind of like born at 28, 29?
Yes. Yeah,
So how was this 2 years lifestyle for you? Like what was look?
It was living at work, almost sleeping at work most of the time.
I see.
We needed to get things done that were phenomenally difficult to do in a shortest amount of time possible. I had the perfect team to make that actually happen. But at the end of the day, you need a work-life balance. It's unsustainable if you continue to push yourself to the limits of what your body needs. And that's actually been something that you learn over time, because sometimes in life, there's a moment where you need to learn that your only job is to actually take care of you,
Right,
and you come first, and then you could take care of others.
right.
But that isn't something that is necessarily promoted in American culture, or at least it depends where you grow up. But that is definitely something I've had to learn. There are many things I've had to learn, and that was one of them. And I am grateful that I've adapted and continued to grow as a person. And it's important to listen to your body and listen to your mind and figure out what drives you as a person. I think after I came back from Japan, I realized I had everything I've ever wanted. I had the career that I had been pursuing since I was 8. What else is there? And for me, it's experiences and memories. And then the other one was I miss my grandfather. And I've always wanted to, at some point in my life, focus on family. So that's something that everyone kind of has at a certain time in their life. And I've cultivated friendships that feel like family, and that has been very satisfying. But sometimes it takes a lot of effort and time to dedicate to create a family for yourself. And if you neglect that by only focusing on your career, you can also miss out on that life experience. Just depends on what you value.
So when you so I see like when you have this work time, it's really literally from morning to evening when you there's not so much sleep, work all day long for these 2 years. How the movie industry worked that by then? Like for example, when you work for one movie, how many movie you worked in 1 month, or like could you experiment a little bit of like, because I know your job is based on project, right? So how long does one project takes for you, your position?
It's sort of been a variety of experiences, because if everyone is aware of, if you don't know, the film industry right now has been rocky because of COVID occurring, and because entertainment has been starting to switch gears, and profits have been hyper focused on instead of the creative endeavors. So we're seeing a lot of change, but when I first started, it was produce as much as you can in the shortest amount of time. And it would be a ton of, you know, pushing yourself to the limits. Also, you're very motivated financially because the longer you're at work, the more money you're making.
Right.
It's an hourly wage. It's never been a salary.
Thank you,
And
guys.
if it was salary, nothing would get done because you can't make these short schedules work in 40-hour increments. In film, there are many other professions that it is not that strenuous or required. And some people work in spurts. So some people work insane overtime
Right.
and then you take 2 months off.
Right.
It just depends on what you're most comfortable with. When you're in your 20s, you feel like you could live at work and it is fulfilling creatively and you have this drive that you just really want to make amazing creative things with other creative people. And it's almost better than sleep or eating or peeing or doing everything that you're supposed to be doing to take care of the other elements of your life. It can get old though. Everyone has a burnout usually in film at some point where you realize that it's a hard life to live and it's not everything. Like and some people don't get that experience and they love it every minute of it. But right now, because the film industry is a little bit up in the air, I think we're all kind of considering our work-life balance because you're not guaranteed a job. Working that hard for that long, it's not a very safe, stable environment. So a lot of people are reconsidering getting into this type of field, but there's every single sector of our workforce is now having to ask that question. Is your job going to be stable? Is it fulfilling enough to keep going with this particular thing that you've decided to spend your life and education on? So we're all philosophically trying to ask that question, and it's not necessarily bad. It's scary though.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like it's changed a lot, the industry itself, right? You're saying.
Yes.
What?
We're very lucrative and productive and with bountiful job opportunities up until COVID hit.
So could you explain me a little bit about what did that exactly mean, this change? COVID happened. What was the change from your observe?
Perfect time to go through a waterfall.
Yep.
Talk
What is this
about
waterfall?
change.
It's about change.
Or as they say, going with the flow.
Exactly. Well, so what do you mean by change for people who doesn't know?
Well, COVID shut
So-
almost all industries down except the medical field.
Right.
Unless the other change that I observed is a lot of people could work now from home. And businesses kind of have a benefit of working from home due to the fact that they don't have overhead to pay for it. So that was slowly changing, but also everyone went on a hiatus. And you know, there's no guarantee that you can survive when a national crisis happens. Like, there's no one that's going to come save you. And the film industry wasn't one of those that was prepared for something of that nature. Same with many other outlets in the workforce, especially in the U.S. So what happened after that is production slowly came back. But in the meantime, in COVID times, they saw a possible benefit off of moving the film industry into another country. Because the one thing that you get to save yourself from by producing films in other countries is health insurance. It's a very expensive to cover people's health insurance.
If Hollywood create in the US.
The U.S., you have to cover people's health insurance, but in another country, say Australia or New Zealand or England, they have national health insurance. So that's a huge chunk of change that you save by not producing films in the U.S. I don't know what the answer to that is. I couldn't explain that. It's other than it's financially kind of a benefit to not be here. So we've witnessed a lot of the productions being taken to another country,
Right.
and it saves them copious amounts of money. I've thought about moving. That is an option. You could move to these locations, except they promote the use of the citizens that live there over having imported other cultures, like say me, go there. Like they won't pay as much money. So you just have to decide where you want to live and how you want to go about all that change.
So, you, okay. So if I summarize what you say, it's basically around COVID, things a bit changed, everywhere changed. It's impacted everybody. The film industry was the same thing, but the one thing was the production, which is, let's say, manufacture side of the thing, never came back because they realized it's much cheaper to offer some other country because of not necessary. It's just basically hiring people is a cost
It's
much
a
more
high
here.
cost here, yes.
So you said England, Australia, New Zealand. What's are those areas? The money.
They're
So basically,
pretty much everywhere. Like Hungary, like I've heard every single. Like Canada, there's lots of more production there. So they're trying to find ways to cut money costs, and it seems to be the creative fields are hit the hardest, as opposed to the producers slash the higher ups. They can stay here, but the creatives are starting to be outsourced elsewhere. So it's just another thing that's occurring because of the advancements that we're going toward. There's also AI that can replace a lot of creatives.
Right. So
And
it's
that's another thing, yeah.
how, for example, maybe we could also move to some other region as well here.
Do you want to go back to Japan? Or
Could
do you
be
want to
cool,
go?
actually.
We haven't gone that way yet.
Let's go that way then.
Okay.
I've been lost in this maze. I was just
Yeah, I could just bury you in the ground and you would never, no one would find you. Here, it's a very large garden.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so you said, true. Like it's also you mentioned it's interesting thing AI, for example, or also like this studio, this structure. I saw.
No, please.
Oh, thank you. Oh, let's wait for this person to pass. So, how do you think, for example, the change of the media and these, for example, big
AI.
social media, also consumption of people free time, how people consume time with entertaining, for example, Netflix, those things. Do you think this structure of the industry, this this basic, the base of the productions change? Do you think these things are also impacted dynamically? Also with technologies.
I'm going to assume that I'm not smart enough to figure that out, but I do know that I think it's going to be a push for financial gain for a while on all avenues until we want to get back in touch with our humanity, which I know me and you have talked about today. I think we're going to get so lost on having the human side of things, and then we're going to have to come back to it. I think our joy and our purpose is completely consumed by the idea that we can connect with each other on a very human level. I think replacing people with machines or AI or I think that is going to come about, and then it is going to be, we are desperate for human connection again. I think the socialness of being human is essential for our existence. So there's going to be a lot of change. I don't feel I am intelligent enough to observe what that might look like.
Yeah.
I can debate about it all day, but I think a socialist or someone that studies sociology would be more inclined to
Right.
be able to reflect on that. But I do believe that something like theater is going to be is going to get us back in touch with our emotions, expression, connection. I think family dinners, I think that's another thing that I constantly think I would pour myself into, is an experience that we've grown away from, and I think it will come back. Food, human language communication, talking with your family or your friends. I think that all needs to, I think that's all going to be something that's important eventually again.
would you work as a costumer in a theater if you can? Would you interested to do these things, or you want to be much more like movies for you, like
Actually,
as the industry, sorry, as the industry changes, which
Yes.
do you feel, you want to search different way to connect with what you do?
I love theater, and I definitely did a lot of that in college. The problem in the U.S. So if I was in England, it's a viable financial decision because they support the arts in England. They would give you a yearly salary that would be very reasonable to live off of and be very happy. Here in the States, they don't. They do not give you a viable wage in order to survive being in theater, especially costuming. So that wouldn't be something that I've ever been. I never leaned into because I believe that I want the privilege of travel, and that costs money. And therefore, I'm going to make choices that give me a life that can provide that, and also health care. Like I need to make enough money to support health insurance. And I can say currently in the States, the theater programs do not advocate for a reasonable salary to be able to provide something like that.
I see.
Sometimes there's reality that checks.
Yeah.
You can love your job, but
100%.
you've got to be able to feed yourself.
Right, right. Wow. So when you were working in this, so you don't now do you work in a still movie and a costume, right? And you said you also like you make dress too or something. What is your passion with fabric now? What you do? Like, could you explain me a little bit?
I would say my biggest passion as I've evolved as into my adulthood is that I love problem solving. If every day I get to solve something different, it stimulates me, it drives me, it gives me meaning and purpose. And the other thing that really drives me is making a team come together and build something beautiful with several different expertises behind it, because then you make this thing that you didn't even know was possible because of all the talent behind it. And that is the most fulfilling thing for me. I really don't mind what I build, but essentially, usually it's things that are kind of not every day. So it wouldn't be like make the same pants 450 times.
Right.
That like I need stimulation in terms of problem solving. So if I get that by working with a team that has never worked together, I can solve that issue of wanting the stimulation of problem solving. But typically for me, it's building costumes that are unique and slightly creative. I'm not that picky though. Like you could have pinpointed being like, well, would you rather make military garments or would you rather make superheroes? I'd probably pick superheroes, but at the end of the day, like as long as I feel challenged, I kind of don't
Right.
care. It's still building.
Right.
I also make vintage wedding gowns for usually, generally speaking, friends, because it's not financially viable career.
Right.
People don't have a lot of money when they want to get married.
Right.
And so the expense of doing it for film, they have the financial backing, as opposed to a wedding gown. Someone is barely got their life together when they choose to partner up with somebody, and the pricing is just it's not sustainable for someone to have a career in it. The other thing that I absolutely love is my free time. I love construction. My father taught me. So you name it, I love building it. It's anything from usually it's interior decorating. So me and my father together built this Murphy table for my sewing machine, and it's one of the most special things that I own. And I've built every interior. I've had the privilege of designing a studio and then building my own bathroom. and I love Art Deco. So
Yeah. Mm.
it's a very much fulfilling expression of my aesthetics.
Mm.
And I love that I can do that. I think I was just gifted this amazing ability of learning from my father,
Mm.
and I want to use it whenever I can.
Mm. When you when you were when you are working in the film industry so far, do you remember how many movies or TV series, however commercials you worked about, and do you remember any like specifically the favorite stories from working on this industry?
Probably about 35, I think around 35 films,
Mm.
TV shows.
Mm.
I can't remember how many brides I've worked with. I think over 150. So like those are two different separate things. But in the film and movie TV industry, there are a lot of films that like really stick out in my head, and one of them was Black Panther. It changed a lot of things in the cultural environment,
Mm. Sorry.
and I feel so privileged to just have that opportunity to be a part of it. And I never quite understand how these films affect children or the society, because comic books, although I find them very entertaining, I didn't pour myself into those as a kid.
Right.
So I get these characters and I'm like, oh, that's a kitty cat. But it looks really cool. I can't wait to build it. And then I meet the actor and something about them sticks with me, their personality, what they're trying to convey, how important the role is. And it just gets more and more special as I'm engineering this garment that makes them become the person they're supposed to be representing for this film. And I work with a team, and they all affect me in different ways too, just pouring themselves into it in their particular craft. And Black Panther was one of them. Just the moment when you go to the theater and you just hear how important it is to the people that are in the audience, and then how much it felt like a movement was occurring. And then my little nephews, who are clearly in a part of America that's the Midwest. It's very it's slightly segregated because it's Indiana. And my nephews want to dress up as Black Panther for Halloween. They want to look up and be a black man, and that was just phenomenally important for everyone.
Because you guys, actually, those costumes, you see somebody trying to costume in a clip, Halloween is actually you've been worked for, right?
Yes,
You've been
yeah.
designed.
And it means so much to somebody when it's just a piece of expression on your body. It's just unbelievable that can change somebody's thoughts. And you don't think that it's that important, but it is. It totally is. The way we express ourselves via our clothing can have that much impact. And I get to be a part of that. Is just it's what makes this job so special.
Right.
And I think the other project that really hit home was I had my craft, and I had worked with a couple people on and off, but not really. I kind of was like a solo artist. And then when my first job that I had to manage a group of people was the first Deadpool film. And I was only 27, and I did not feel ready to do that. I was still learning how to work as a team,
Right.
making several different things. I was still learning the craft of specialty costume, and I felt like I needed more experience with managing humans. I felt like I wasn't quite I had not enough years of working in a huge environment of several people that I felt like I could do that. But my boss was wonderful, and he pushed me to the limits of navigating not only making the costume, but also navigating working with strangers and making them build something together. And it was really hard. It was so hard, but at the end of the day, what we made was so special. And if you had interviewed me during the process, I probably would have been sitting there crying. But then when it was over and you got to watch the film and you saw what a group of people can make together, it's so special. And I grew as a human, really grew as a human throughout that process. So Deadpool was my first, I call it my baby, where I had to learn the hard way. And then luckily, then we had Deadpool 2 and it felt like a breeze, a nice cool breeze, because I had already gone through the ringer.
Right. You saying like you were saying that you'd cry if it's now. Me like we talked about cost, right? About what you do with passion. How did you when you had for example, those difficult time with your career, you say you went to Japan, so on, or however different time you had. How did you go through? Like what was your like you said it's always however plan B kind of like to have these things, but do you have any specific thing always carry with you in your heart to go through difficult time?
I think if there was something, if I felt like I had the right to give anyone advice, which I never do. I think everyone needs to go on their own path to discover who they are.
Yeah.
But if I had to say anything, it would be at the hardest moments, you have to remember that this is only temporary. And what we will do is change you in a way that you needed it. Whether it's good or bad, it builds who you are in order to feel fully yourself. And my dad always told me this since I was a kid, and it will always hit home. It's you are your own best friend. The person that will be with you until the day you die is yourself. And you need to cultivate that relationship with the feelings and experiences that you are given. And you have to view it as it's not always something that is easy to do. It's sometimes incredibly terrifying and scary and miserable, but that makes you what your life is going to be. And it's in those moments of insane difficulty, it will go away, and then what is left over is extremely worth it. Like grief, struggle, hardships, lessons that feel so impossible to get through are just going to make you a remarkable human being that will be very satisfied with your best friend.
Beautiful. What was for example, also difficult time? What was the most difficult thing while you work in this industry? For example, maybe if I play piano, maybe I just have to stay inside, stay with piano, deal with practicing whatever, time alone, loneliness. However, what were the thing that you have to fight with with your emotion and things like that?
I think sometimes in the very beginning, people think you equate financial gain with worth, your own worth in yourself. And there is a correlation to it, because if you can't feed yourself, you feel less than. And so they will, in this artistic field, a lot of artists, whether it's costuming or painting or you name a creative field that is like musicians even, as yourself. The value is always reflected on how much you get paid, and that is not true. But it really hits you hard when you're not getting paid and you're told eventually you will be paid, and that starts to eat at your self-esteem. And I believe that no one should work for free, but you will be convinced by everyone and their extended family members that you have to put in dues. And I don't love that. That is probably the hardest part about being a creative artist, is the world will tell you that you're financially worthless until you put in the time.
Right.
and people will take advantage of that. And that I would say is probably the hardest part about entering this my particular profession. So I always tell people, like, if you really want stability and ease, this maybe this type of platform or profession is probably not going to give you that.
Right.
And it's very hard. It's hard to get through, to know that, like, you can't eat today, you can't pay rent, and you're working endless hours for free, and you're trying to prove yourself, and no one is validating it financially. It's a really hard beginning of life. And so I always equate it to, at least in my experience, some people have very good luck, or they have opportunity that happens really quickly, and there's no judgment there, because everyone needs to get the cards that they play. But
Right.
my big thing is, like, if you need this to breathe and you feel like that, it's worth it. But it might be really freaking hard. Like, not getting paid for what all the hard work and effort you put in is really demeaning over time. And I can relate to any artist that feels that way. And that's the struggle. That's the struggle, for sure.
Right, because then maybe you might feel it's not creating something, it's just wasting my time.
Yeah, you've got to have a lot of pep talk in your best friend
Yeah.
to get through those experiences. And there is a point where you should always stand up for yourself. And I didn't have that in the beginning, where it was like, yeah, of course I have to work hard. Of course I have to put in time. Of course I got to do free stuff. But I think with time, and somebody telling you, like me, make sure you get paid. You are valuable.
Right.
Maybe not paid the most expensive in the room, but at least get paid something. Like, you gotta eat. You gotta take care of you.
Right. Wow. So, okay. Now I have little bit different question. Out of a little bit from your work now. So you told me a little bit of free time, how you think about, so on. So now, like you said, there's many things changing in the industry itself, so on. You might also considering, how do you see life now? Like now, after that things, do you feel, like you said, this many years, you were not so much able to, like, focus on your own? Now do you feel you have much time now, and what was the change towards, like, your life? Do you, for example, does it change now you have more time? Does it change meaning of success, for example?
I think a lot of things have changed, but I feel incredibly lucky. And I think everything that has happened to me is made me the person that I am today. And it's something I'm extremely proud of. I do think, though, that I've had a lot of struggles that have set me on a path that made me only be able to understand life as a wave that you do not have control over. And that is another really hard lesson to learn, is as much as you want to project your future or your path, or you want to control maybe your profession or circumstances, life is not like that. You've got to actually live in the discomfort of not having a lot of control. So I kind of have been through that in the last couple of years, of, like, the idea that you got to just move with how what life gives you. And I think if you take the things that make you feel very lucky to be alive, I think you need to focus on those, and you need to stay as present as you physically can. Mentally, spiritually, physically, stay present, because that is what you're getting out of life. It's not where do I see myself in a couple years, or it's nice to have goals, so you have a drive, but it also is, it's important to remember what really grounds you, and stick with that. As far as my profession goes, I started a company in a time that's a terrible time to start a company in film, and I'm going to ride that wave. Who knows if it works out? Who knows if it fails? I've got all of the experience, effort, and time that you could possibly put into one goal, which is to continue my profession. And I've successfully had a career in this for as long as I've been in LA. And I've done everything I possibly can to set myself up for this working. If it doesn't, I won't have any regrets. And that was the goal of starting this company, is like, as long as I try, I won't ever look back on this moment and be like, man, I didn't even give it a go. And I'm riding this wave of being out of control, and I think that's all you can do.
I like that very much. I agree. So you met, through costume, I'm sure you met a lot of interesting people, which call celebrity. However, who are they for you? Who are the people in Shine? What people think?
Well, I always tell people I want to marry Michael B. Jordan, but that's more of a joke. He was probably the sweetest man I've ever met in my life. He was very kind. He was very confident, and he was very charismatic. And he's an excellent actor. He just won Best Actor for Sinners. He's just a phenomenal human, and anyone that would be in a room with him would know this. This is not news. I think you can watch an interview and you're like, oh, that guy's awesome. But as far as like people that have been important to me, it would probably be my former boss. He gave me opportunity that I didn't even know that I wanted and cared for or accepted. I refused a lot of the opportunities he gave me, and he still made me do those things. So I had to learn how to run his company when that would have not been an opportunity I could have gotten anywhere else. And I'm grateful for him pushing me to the brinks of my abilities. He also was very understanding of many of the times that I broke down and went like, I gotta go to Japan, or I gotta go on a vacation. He encouraged it. So really happy that I got that experience with my boss, and he had been in the industry for years. I mean, for some reason, he decided that I was a good, comrade, partner, like team leader, and he just kept pushing me in that direction, and I'm grateful for that experience. I don't think I would have ever had that experience in any other environment, anywhere else, at any other company, and that was amazing of him. He let me be a teacher. He let me be, like learn from everyone else in the company, from 3D modeling to CNC machines to we did animatronics even. Like he kept pushing us to keep learning and keep growing, and I mean that cost a lot of money, and he was happy to throw money at that. So
wow, that's a great leader.
I'm glad I got to meet my boss. He sadly passed away today, a year ago.
Oh wow.
And luckily I contacted the family. I tried to pay some respect to him today, and now we're here at a beautiful place talking about him. So I feel like this is a good way of honoring him and his memory. He started, I think his first build at our company was Stargate, and that is a phenomenal film. If you ever get a chance to watch a great sci-fi film, that was his first job, and he's grown into making some of the biggest movies that have ever existed. So he's had an amazing career, and he built everything from zero. So I'm lucky to know my boss, and then I feel like the different talents that I've come along the way and got to work with. I do appreciate meeting celebrities, but not as much as everyone else in the world does.
Right.
Like they're incredibly talented humans, but I only get a brief moment where I'm asking them, you know, can you put this measurement in your crotch so I could get your inseam? I don't want to be too invasive. Or I'm asking them, please don't fart right now or you're going to blow out the butt. Like there's just moments in time that are really fun, but I don't get a lot of time with them. So it's only probably 1 or 2 days during production.
Right. Right.
They're all as amazing as they sound on TV. They carry that charisma with everywhere they go. They have to because that's their job. Yeah.
Good way to say. Well, I kind of the loss of your boss. Like, obviously, it sounds very important person to you. Was he like kind of in a way fatherhood for you, like working with such amazing person, giving you opportunity to learn? Well, like, what was your feeling? He passed away. Was it like how did you go through his loss for you?
Actually, I haven't fully like understood my feelings behind it because he was a very complex human being, and anyone that has ever met him probably has some agreement with me on a little bit of a level, but he was really uncuddly, I will say. He was he knew what he wanted, and he tried his best to get that out of everyone that worked for him. And with that came a lot of resistance. So if you resisted too hard, you would end up not being a part of the team. So you had to accommodate him to a degree, but it was very hard. It was very hard to collaborate in terms of the vision he had and the way he wanted you to do it was very strict. And for creatives, that's a pretty hard request because creatives love to thrive in their own freedom. So I, at the time that I met him, was young enough to adapt to those ways. It became pretty difficult in terms of feeling taken care of. But I didn't need anything. And I happen to be a person that is very, almost to a terrible level, very independent. And so I don't need a thank you. I don't need a hug. I don't need to be told I did a great job.
Right.
I just thrive off of whatever I create. So it worked well he worked well with me. We were great. I don't want to say partners because he ran the show, but we were great because he knew exactly where to push me without making me go nuts. And other people, it did not work out as well, but for me, we had a great collaboration. He let me thrive. He gave me independence. And that's all I wanted. That's all I needed. And so, but the idea that we grew close in any other scope was just, we want to do this thing together and we want to make it look great. But beyond that, there was no, you can make a joke at him and it was a miracle if he'd laugh. So the cuddliness was just not his style, and I didn't need that. I didn't need a boss that was warm and supportive. I needed a boss that drove me nuts, and he pushed us to make some amazing things, and that's where I fully appreciate him. And I keep appreciating him more now that I've started a company. I could understand why allowing people to get close to you makes you vulnerable to many business-like attacks. And so I keep recognizing some of the things that maybe I would have considered asking him to change. I wouldn't now because it makes sense in a business stance to be that closed off from others. So, but he was a wonderful guy. He had a family that he took care of. They went on many amazing trips, and
Mm.
He thrived in his personal life. I just was the work, the work partner, I guess you could say. But if you look at everything that Film Illusions have ever made, you'll be severely impressed at how much amazing talent went into every single
Mm.
costume that left that building. And we did animatronics. I keep forgetting because that was such a blip in time. But we built rides for Universal Studios and Disneyland, and it was just a remarkable life full of variety and creativity and engineering, and it's a great life. It is definitely a great life.
Wow. When you so if somebody see young people wants to try when somebody wants to try like career you did, what would you advise them? Somebody follows dream, why would
That
be
would want to get a career of costume making.
not necessarily
saying?
costume, somebody with passion and they kind of like, I want to try something, I don't know if it's gonna be, somebody really cares about passion and wants to find a way to live with it. What would be your advice?
I feel very limited because the life that I chose is a very narrow one. I wanted to do this one thing when I was 8, and then I just couldn't get over it. It was just hyper focused on this one goal. I would probably say if it's something that's really important to you that makes you who you are, continue to nurture that as much as you can. Also keep in mind though, like you can make it a hobby. If it's not supporting the other things that are valuable to you, there's no reason you can't spend time doing it as a hobby. I don't think you could have told me that ever in my life. I would have been a stubborn little girl just going, I do what I want. You don't tell me what to do. But there are avenues to get your passion out, whether you successfully do it in your career or if you do it in your free time. And it's equal. To me, it's equal. As long as you're feeling like you have meaning and purpose in your life, that's the end goal. That's what makes you get up in the morning. It's what makes you be the person that you are.
I like what you said about it can be also hobby. That is very true. But that's only comes with some certain age, I think. It takes time to understand these things. Like, well, so
You need to grow as a human, and you change constantly. And if you
Right.
don't, it's like the death of being a human. So I'm always like, there are balances here, and you need to remember that like who you are next year is hopefully different than you are today. And with that thought in mind, don't ever don't narrow down your vision too much. Like maybe you might feel like having a family is important to you one day. Maybe you don't think it at all right now, or maybe you want to be single for the rest of your life. Your brain is going to change. Leave it open. Leave it open to plan B.
I like that. So, you are a very independent person. Also, one of you is also part of you being women. Like very independent women who know how to work with hand as well. And you worked in a very, let's say, very cool career. Let's say when maybe people would say cool. However, like, was it any difficulty or any challenge because of you being female in this industry, or?
Yes, definitely. It's a male-dominated field. It just has been for a long time, and it's changing, obviously. But how many female directors are there? There's not a lot. Like the people that are leaders tend to be a man's club. It is changing though, and it can continue to change. And I have a lot of philosophy behind that. But I listened to a guy the other day explain it in terms of why women are excelling so fast right now, and it was a great observation. Well, first of all, like equality is occurring. We're in a workforce. We can make and control our financial status. And that's a remarkable tool that we were provided not that long ago. And we have complete control now of our financial situation and our bodies. And that's phenomenally amazing. We're moving in the right direction. But one man explained it as the reason why women are excelling so fast right now is because at a very young age we get our period. And we have to understand that we're going to struggle constantly and we still have to show up. We're going to, like 1 week every month is going to be just our body's telling us this is painful, this is uncomfortable, and you just have to ride it out. Whereas that is kind of a great lesson to get in your when you're 12. Like you're gonna live a life of discomfort, but you still have to thrive. Whereas men don't have a bodily thing that occurs that's that much sustained pain. Like that's a pretty long time, 7 days of being in discomfort. And I love that theory. I love that theory that women are adaptable very young. And I think that's kind of a great reason, I guess, to like explain
I could see that. I could
how
see
women are doing so well right now and how even with struggle we will still overcome it to some degree. And I'm in awe of what women have been doing, especially after the Olympics this year. They kicked some butt. And they're getting through all of that struggle and they're thriving. They have to raise children alone sometimes. Like women are doing some amazing shit. So hopefully with time we are both going to be seeing each other as equals and just two brains that just want to connect either in life or knowledge or emotions. I think that's where we're headed, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm a woman. I want us to see each other as equals. So maybe in the film industry that will occur soon. Maybe we won't have a film industry. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna ride that wave.
You know, interesting thing. For example, me as a man, I advise for men. For example, he wants to follow career, whatever. You know, somebody wants to do business. I have some advice that I tell to male friends. For example, you know, don't think about too much material stuff. I think this is generally for everybody, female, male. Especially, for example, for male, I tell careful of yourself being too much focused on women, you know. Do you have anything like this that you would advise for young women, female, who might be so, you know, success like you did to, you know, putting amazing things to the world, who might want to go similar paths? What would you be your advice for them? What they should be careful about?
Probably the only thing that I would say is that we're going to turn this back around to what we've already repeated and talked about, but it's if you focus on your own best friend that is you, and you focus on thriving in your own skin and what you want to do, I think that is so much more fulfilling than pouring that into other things or people. So in essence, you say stop focusing on women. I would say same women. Don't expect a man to come and make your life worth living. Thrive in yourself and maybe find someone else that feels the same, and then you're just building this amazing future together. I would also say things don't bring you joy. It's just a distraction from what's important. Figure out your values as soon as you possibly mentally can, intellectually. Like what is actually driving you to be who you are and what you're proud of. Like what makes you proud of yourself. Those are values. Focus on those. Always make decisions based off of your values, and you'll never have a regret. Like, for instance, I believe that all people should be treated equally and that everyone has something to give. So if you go into a situation where you don't know anyone and you believe that every person feels that way, you can talk to anyone in the world, anybody in the world, and you can have a fulfilling conversation in which you learn something new. And that's a value that I can use in almost every day-to-day experience. So and that's what makes me proud of me. Like I could go to a foreign country where I don't belong, and I can find anyone in my peripheral that I can learn something from, and I'm not afraid to figure that out. And it's my job to figure that out. And I think it's gotten me into having this experiences that are just life-changing and phenomenal and fulfilling. And it requires me to be present. It requires me to continuously change myself to learn more. And I can't think of a better life than that. So if you could figure out your values as soon as your brain is allowing you to, as young as you can, it will only provide a lifetime of wonderful memories.
Beautiful.
And no
What's-
regrets.
No regret.
And no regrets, because you've lived your life the way that is valuable to you.
I agree, 100%.
I'm not as smart as I sound right now. Don't worry. I can humble you later with my expertise on costuming.
Well, another question is, what is money mean to you right now?
Money is a tool. You absolutely can't live life kind of without it, but it always needs to be something used in terms of working for you. It's essential for life. We use that to represent sort of a trade arrangement which services are rendered via this particular. Sorry, Cassie, that's my
No
phone.
worries. Take your phone, don't worry.
Of course. Besides that,
Uh-huh.
money is kind of worthless if you're not using it for your values. And what are your values for your family? Sure. If it's an experience like a vacation or something that makes you feel like you're living life to the best of what you wanted out of it. Now it stopped. I didn't even press it.
Well,
Money is only a tool. Like if you revolve your life around it, it's gonna make you miserable. I've seen people that have all the money in the world and they absolutely have no value system and they're lost and they're absolutely depressed and they can't figure out exactly what they're doing with it. It doesn't get you anywhere unless you're using it for your value system. And that's how I feel about money. I particularly enjoy having money so I can go travel, which we've talked about already. I value the idea that I can go to a different culture, I can experience and thrive in that culture. It doesn't inhibit me from doing the things that I want to do, like consuming food with a group of people. If I had more of it, I would share it more with the people I love. And these are all value systems. You just got to go back to yourself, remember what your values are, which you've cultivated over your life experience, and remember to always check in with that and follow your value system. So that's how I feel about money. It's just a tool.
beautiful.
Does that work?
It makes sense.
What about you?
Well, I have ideas, but I mean, I would maybe explain another time to people.
I keep reflecting it
No
back
worries,
on you.
no
Yeah,
worries.
yeah.
Well, last couple question, like maybe 2-3 more questions I would like to ask you.
Okay.
No worries. So, for what does it mean? Like you sounded like you had to spend a lot of time alone in your life while you were focusing. Mm-hmm. What does it mean loneliness for you?
That's definitely how you not have loneliness. You have little children running around making you not think about how lonely you are. So that's the cure to loneliness, is surround yourself with children because they're never lonely. Even they make up in imaginary friends. They solve that problem all the time for themselves.
That is
Do you know how easy it is to make a friend when you're a kid? Like, I love that about children. But loneliness for me, do you want to go toward the car? Is that a quieter place probably?
Sure.
Loneliness to me was something that I've always independently, because I'm so independent, like, I don't really understand loneliness. I've always had myself. And maybe when I was very young, I had to face loneliness at some point. But man, I've been blessed with having my grandfather, who I told you about, who was my best friend. He taught me what unconditional love is because he was my grandpa. He didn't have to do anything other than love me. And that was a remarkable experience for me. And it gave me the confidence to love myself. So in those regards, loneliness isn't something that phases me too often, except when you're all consuming in one area of your life, such as my career was. It can feel lonely at times. You want to have other things in your life. What I was explaining, like spiritually, physically, like you need more than just your career, and that felt particularly lonely when that is the only time that you're spending is just on this particular trade or profession. It can only give you so much. You need to fill your life with variety. I believe in variety. I believe in all in moderation. I believe in pushing yourself to experience things that are not necessarily comfortable for you. So loneliness is a state, though, that some people get in because of the struggles of life, and I can totally empathize and reflect on that. But I also have created medicines in my life to solve that issue, or at least get through it without it overwhelming me completely. And I would say the loneliest part of my life is I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 35. And no one can relate to you when you're suffering in that much pain. And it's an incredibly lonely and terrifying experience. There are many people that were there for me, but no one is actually feeling, and you feel very isolated because no one is feeling the same feelings as you. So I would say that would be a moment in life where I probably can help or at least understand others because of the immensity of loneliness you experience during sickness. And I'm grateful for it because now I get phone calls with people going through it, and I can sit with them and I can share with them that I understand. And that's sometimes all humans need to just get through that tough time. It's just somebody to be there and say, I understand, or at least I'm here. That's the other thing, just I'm here. And someone's willing to sit with them in that particular moment. We all have to suffer loneliness, though. Unfortunately, we all die alone. So sorry to break the news, but we do.
Right.
The experience of death is always solo. So,
But it's truth of life.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is true. What about?
And
sorry?
it's the experience of life. So appreciate all the moments if you
Right.
can. It's really hard, but it's what makes the best parts so special.
Right.
Is the worst parts.
100%. We have to lose something sometime to appreciate what we had.
Yeah.
To learn, appreciate presentness. And yeah, I agree. Well, what's for you art and creativity and craft means? What is those things mean for you?
I just think it's human expression. It's getting in touch with, I guess, your soul. I mean, I'm not a philosopher. I don't have the elegance of language to be able to express it, but man, that movie Soul, the cartoon, Pixar cartoon,
I love that movie.
they nail it.
That is a beautiful movie.
It is, and the music is excellent.
Jump, yeah.
Yes.
Jump party, yeah. Right. Okay. So that's you gave us a link to
Just
see
go
how
watch
you
that
think
movie,
about.
and you're gonna know what like the idea of self-expression is and what you can do with it. And they do a great job of articulating that particular idea. Whereas my job is mostly crafting things, not word language or poetry. I just
Right.
and I don't want to pretend that that is me either. So we'll take lovely Pixar Soul for the Jeopardy winning round.
Well,
think we're
what's
this
the
way, right?
B2?
E? Wasn't it E2?
E2. Yeah, E2. That was E2. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
We're
is
getting
a
there.
sorry?
We're
What
getting
is
a little
it?
lost, but
Yeah,
it's
no
fine.
worries. What is craft for you? Then you said you are very craft. What do you think today craft? Like society takes. I don't know. Okay, let's
Like-
not do this society. What's relation for you to? What is craft for you, for your life?
Craft is again. I don't feel like language is my number one ability, but I would say for me personally, just in my vision of life and experiences, craft is like you take something and have an actual physical item that expresses the effort and time you put into it.
Mm.
Usually it's a visual. That's why building for me is so important. I love the idea that every day that I go home, there's more in this world than I entered with it. So I took a physical item and I made it exist visually in this space.
Mm.
There are many other art forms like that isn't that.
Mm.
But for my craft, my building, it is that you have a tangible item
Mm.
that represents your time and effort.
Mm. Nice. I agree. What would be last question? What would be message for today's world? Do you have anything stuck in your head usually about today's world? However, what do you have any messages?
I'm not a profound person. I don't think that hard. But if I had to say anything in the last month, I've gotten spoiled rotten with family.
Mm.
And what that includes is I have 3 nieces and 2 nephews that just love the shit out of me. And they refer to me as Aunt Pizza.
Mm.
And I believe that children teach you how to actually be human because they don't have any other influence from outside factors. So the joy of eating sand, the joy of getting smashed in the face with a wave, the joy of playing a funny murder game with your entire family, the giggles, the observations, the mistakes that children make on a day-to-day basis is something that we should be doing and exploring all the time. And they are the best, for me, they're the best teachers that I know.
Beautiful. So last question. Do you have any messages to? Well, how was the experience of this project working?
It was delightful. I got to know more about you. I got to smell amazing nature. I got to feel the sun on my face. I get to look at the craftsmanship of all of the ornate buildings in here and the walkways, and I understand how long that takes and how much joy and love was put into this, including whatever $85 million that we just walked through. You can see it, you can taste it, you can feel it, you can smell it. Those are the reasons why we as humans enjoy being on this planet. And I think this gardens is a great way to get back with that of feeling those 5 senses. And it was a pleasure hanging out with you.
Yeah, sure. I just got really last question. When you
Okay,
say,
one more.
I think I'm gonna ask this question from this time, from everybody next time. What's your hope?
Hope? Oh man. Oh man, I hope I stay curious and a child for the rest of my life at heart. Not maybe responsibility wise, but at heart I always want to keep that childlike curiosity. I hope I always keep that. That will get me through anything. And I get to meet, I don't know where my life leads. That's the beauty of it too. It's like, I don't know what next week is going to be. And if you always stay open, curious, have plan B, your life is full of amazing experiences and you never know where it's going to end up.
That's beautiful. Well, I'm gonna finish this camera, which is what time now? It's 5:30 almost at Easter Day, Los Angeles. Thank you for Kathleen I have next to me. We'll see you.